Hi, Key Stage 1. This is our week 1, day 4 of our writing for Little Red Riding Hood. We are on day 4, which means we are writing in the past tense. So we're building on yesterday's knowledge and we are writing sentences today. So to be successful today, you are going to write in the past tense. That means you can write in the past tense. You can also write in full sentences using a capital letter and full stop in the correct places. And you can even use your phonics knowledge to help you get the correct spellings. But first we are going to start with our retrieval practice, and our retrieval practice today is again handwriting, and you are going to be practicing your zigzag monster letters today. You can print off the sheet that we have on the website, or you can practice them with a pen and paper. So like always, we start on the line, we lead in, we make sure our writing sits on the line, and we lead out as well. Once you have practiced all 4 letters, you can try the words at the bottom to see if you can join all your handwriting up together. And those words are zip, web, box, and fox. Pause the video, and when you're ready, you can see what we will be learning about today. So, just to make sure you've remembered everything from yesterday's lesson, we've got another retrieval question, and that question is, which of these verbs are past tense? Remember, past tense is something that has already happened. It's happened before. So we've got walked, shouting, shouted, walking, knocked, and knocking. Give yourself a moment to discuss the question and discuss the answers before looking at the answers on the next slide. Answers, well done if you got them correct. So they are all regular past tense verbs. So they are all ending with the ed suffix. So we've got walked, yesterday I walked to the shops. Shouted, yesterday I shouted at the children. And knocked, yesterday I knocked on the door. They are all past tense verbs. So well done if you got those correct. Today we are going to be looking at sentence writing, and that's sentence writing in the past tense. Now the children will be familiar with this. It's like a little checklist to make sure you've got everything you need in a sentence. So every single sentence needs to start with a capital letter. You need to use your neatest joined up handwriting. You must make sure you use finger spaces between your words, and you end a sentence with a full stop. But some sentences that we write will be ending in a question mark or an exclamation mark as well. You also need to make sure you read your work and reread it again to check it makes sense. After that, we normally tick or fix our work with a red pen, but we won't be doing that today. And this is what we are going to be writing. We're going to be writing the first paragraph of Little Red Riding Hood. So that is the red paragraph on the waggle and on the text map. Just to make sure we can remember this part of the story, I want you to listen to me read the text map so that you can remember what happens in the first part, the opening of the story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She lived with her mother in a village near the forest. One day, Little Red Riding Hood went to visit Grandma. She took a basket of food with her. On her way, Little Red Riding Hood met a wolf. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and reread this part of Little Red Riding Hood from the text map before we start writing it in sentences. So now I'm going to show you how I would use the text map to help me write some sentences. I need to make sure that every sentence starts with a capital letter, and to see which one I'll be starting with, I can look at the text map. The first word is once, and I can see that it is spelt with an O, the letter O to start with as a capital letter. When I draw the capital O, I need to make sure it reaches the top line. It's nice and big. And then I can finish writing the word once. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it from the waggle to make sure that I've got my spelling correctly. I'm also making sure I take the time to join up my handwriting. Okay, so I've got once, which is the first word, once upon a time. Again, I'm just going to copy it from the text map to make sure that I get my spellings correct on this one. And on to the next word, making sure I leave my finger spaces there and making sure that I am joining up my writing. So now I've copied once upon a time, I'm going to look at the text map, and it was once upon a time there was a girl. So now I need to spell the word there. And I know that there is a red word, and I can remember how to spell that. D-H-E-R-E. There. If you're not sure how to spell your red words, you can try and use your phonics and see if you can get something similar to the word. Or you can use your sound chart, which is available to print. And that has all of the red words that you will need as a year 1 or a year 2. So once upon a time there was. Again, I've got another red word, so I can look at that sheet to help me. And I know that the red word was is W-A-S. Once upon a time there was a. I know that's the letter A by itself. A girl. I can use my phonics to help me here. G. Now there are different types of I'm going to go with whirl and twirl. G. Ooh. Girl. And if you're not sure how to spell it, you can try the different spellings and see which one you think is correct. So once upon a time there was a girl called. Now I know that called is a regular past tense verb, so I'm going to write the word call, and then I need my ed suffix. Called Little Red Riding Hood. Now, Little Red Riding Hood is her name, so I will need a capital letter for her name. Capital L. Little. Capital letter again because it is her name. Red. riding, capital letter. Hood. Now I have finished my sentence, I need to read through it and check that I've got everything I need. So I start my sentence with a capital letter. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, I have my capital letter. I have my cursive handwriting. I have my finger spaces. So at the end of my sentence, I need a full stop. So I'll make sure that I've got full stop at the end of my sentence. And there we go. I have finished my first sentence from looking at the text map and writing it out. Now it's going to be your turn. So when you write out the first paragraph from the text map, you can choose which writing template you would like. So there's this one, which has the first picture to help you. And remember, you are just writing the red paragraph. Or you can try this template where it hasn't got the pictures to help you. Or this one, which is very similar, but the lines are a little bit smaller if you have smaller handwriting. Once you have selected the sheet that you would like to use, you will need to copy out the text map, but writing it in sentences, making sure that you are writing it in the past tense. This is the sound chart that I was talking about earlier. So you can print that off and that can help you with your spellings, or you can just look at it on the computer screen and that will help as well. I have the 3 pictures that are from the beginning of the story as well, also there to help you. Remember, for every single sentence, you need to have a capital letter, use your best cursive handwriting, use finger spaces. For these sentences, it will just be full stops. You don't need to worry about question marks or exclamation marks. It's just a full stop at the end of the sentence. You need to make sure you read it through carefully, not just once, but read it through lots of times to make sure it makes sense. You don't have to tick or fix it, but if you think you've done a good job, you can give yourself a tick at the end. And also remember, you are writing in the past tense. You're using lots of ed words, lots of past tense verbs. Pause the video and write the first paragraph of Little Red Riding Hood. Good luck! When you have finished writing your first paragraph of Little Red Riding Hood, it's very important that you read your work back and check that it makes sense. When you've done that, you can move on to the plenary and we will see if you can remember how to write sentences correctly in the past tense. So I have 3 sentences here and one of them is correct, and you need to work out which one is correct in the past tense. A. She lived with her mother in a village near a forest. She lives with her mother in a village near a forest. Or C. She is living with her mother in a village near a forest. Pause the video and talk it through with your grown-up before you look at the answer on the next slide. If you got it correct. The correct answer is she lived with her mother in a village near a forest. And we've got the ed suffix there to show you that it is the past tense regular verb. So if you're not sure about the past tense, you can look for that ed, and that is a nice clue to show it is a past tense regular verb. So let's reflect on your learning today and see how much of a successful learner you were. So today you were writing in the past tense. Think in your head, can you write in the past tense? Were you using past tense verbs like called, lived, went? Can you also write in full sentences with a capital letter and full stop in the correct places? And can you even use your phonics to help you get the correct spellings? In tomorrow's lesson, we will be starting to explore speech marks in a text because they happen in the next part of the story. I hope you have a lovely day and I look forward to working with you tomorrow.